Hello, everyone. Shirley Allred here. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Um, First and foremost, thank you so much for joining in on the channel today. If you like and find value in what I present, I would appreciate it if you would hit the thumbs up, hit the bell, and then that way you'll get more subscriptions. You're also welcome to go to my website, shirleyallred.com, where you can uh, sign up for events, mini classes, schedule a one-on-one session. There's just so much you can do there. So I invite you to go visit my website. Before we begin, let me say I am not a doctor. I am just a simple person who has found what works for me and has worked for others in order to address some of life's challenges. Okay. And there's no right or wrong way. There's just no right or wrong way. So, with that being said, let's get started. Today's topic is say goodbye to depression and hello world, right? So, and again, a lot of the things that I speak on are things that I have figured out ways to align these emotions, because our emotions are very powerful. Our emotions are ways for our bodies to communicate with us. And like I said, there's no right or wrong way. I wasn't born with depression. I wasn't born with bipolar. I wasn't born with seizures. I wasn't born with warts on my fingers. There's so many things that I wasn't born with. And through the years, I have used the power of thought and the power of my mind in order to adjust these perceptions that I made myself, that I took on, and or that I created. And these emotions aren't bad. At that time they served me well. And then once they serve us well, it's like the universe keeps coming back to you and going, okay, here's another situation. It's time to let go. Stop holding on to that old crap. Okay. It's time to move on. It's time to enjoy life, right? So, with that being said, again, I am not a doctor. I am just a person who has figured out what works for me and so many other people in order to be happy. When I was depressed, I mean, I was over 200 pounds, and I couldn't look people in the eye. I couldn't even go to the grocery store by myself, for heck's sakes. I was so limited, and heaven forbid I'd be in a grocery store and I had an anxiety attack or something. And sometimes that was once I forced myself. So again, there's times when it's good to force yourself to do things. Now, on the other hand, if your body, if you have, like, say you're feeling pain in your body or you're feeling exhausted, that is not a good time to push yourself. Not at all. Because your body's telling you, you know what, frickin', you need to take a break. You need to relax. We need to recoup here. We need to re-energize, right? So when your body's communicating with you, that's the time to go, okay, I am not pushing you. I am not pushing you forward. When it comes to like depression, sometimes, and it's not easy because I've been there. It's not easy to go get your ass off that couch and go for a walk. Go outside. And then, excuse my language, but that bucket voice came in, and it was like, and it had so much authority and so much like, oh, I like that voice because, like when I was over 200 pounds, I'd go to a bag of chip and I'm like, nope, I've done so good. I'm not eating those bag of chips. Nope, nope, nope. And then that voice, that bucket voice would come in and I'd eat the whole bag. So with that being said, is that bucket voice like really inspiring? Or is that bucket voice, that voice that's like defeating our purpose, defeating what we really want in life? Yet somewhere whether in our mind we said it to someone else, because I can kind of picture the person that I said it to, yet that voice only betrayed me. So what I started to do is, if you don't feel like going outside, stand next to a window and just feel the heat of the sun like absorbing in your back and absorbing into your skin, and visualize the vitamin D. And if you can't visualize it, pretend like you can, for heck's sakes. I mean, we live in a life of an illusion, and sometimes that's hard to grasp for some people. Yesterday is simply an illusion. It's a past. There's nothing we can do about it right here and now in this moment. In the future, who knows what's going to happen in the future? So the only thing we really know for sure is what is happening at this current moment in our life, right? So, get yourself off the couch. Go take a hot bath and bawl your eyes out. There's so many things you can do that, and I do realize when a person gets into that depressed state, sometimes life feels hopeless, and it's like, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. Well, you know what? If you were to get into a taxi car or Uber or whatever, even your kid's car, and they're like, hey, Mom, where do you want to go today? And you're like, well, I don't want to go to the zoo, and I don't want to go to the store, and I don't want to go here, and I don't want to go there. Well, how in the heck do they know where to take you? And so put that back on yourself. How does your mental state, how does your mind, how can you build a path to where you want to go if you're not even sure where you want to go? If all you do is say where you don't want to go, because you know what? The universe will take you there too, right? And it'll just keep giving you the same thing over and over and over again until you figure it out. And once you figure it out, it shifts your vibration, which puts you on a higher vibration. And you know what? The universe will never give you that test again. Never. So it's all about stepping out of the familiar and owning the voices. And what I found really interesting years ago is some of the things that I would say to myself, those internal thoughts that would go on. When I started investigating them and started listening to the tonality and the way they were said, they weren't even my own voice. They were like my mom's voice, or one of my stepdad's voice, or a teacher, or a kid, or they weren't even my voice. Now, granted, 30 years ago, if you were to say, I hear voices in my head, they probably would have locked you up, right? So I'm really glad the collective consciousness is opening up, because we all have internal dialogue. We all talk to ourselves. We all visualize. I know some people say, I've never visualized anything in in my life. Well, they really have, because, how would you know which house is yours if you had never seen it before? Then you could end up at your neighbor's house, So our mind is very powerful. It's about stepping past that need to feel safe, and that need to live from the beliefs that really aren't even ours. And part of me, I kind of really feel like that's where depression comes from. It's because we're not living in our truth. Okay, here's a good example. For years, my mom would say negative things about casinos, right? And I did not like casinos. I am not going in there. There is nope. And then sure enough, as soon as I go into the casino, I'm like, I am not feeling good. Nope. Then again, I'm an empath, and I feel energy quite a bit. And I believe all of us can. Some of us are more sensitive than others. And this went on for years, and my friends all wanted to go to the casinos, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go. And then one day I just thought, I have a list of things I've worked on and that I plan on working on. And within myself. And, they're kind of baby steps, but then you look back and you're like, oh my God, that wasn't so hard after all, right? So I started examining the voice in my head that kept telling me that the casinos were bad and they were nasty and they were dirty. And it wasn't my voice, it was my mom's voice. And once I realized it was my mom's voice, I simply gave it back to her. It's like, you know, and I didn't go up to her and go, here, mom, here's your belief back. It doesn't serve me, right? Well, you don't need to do that. You just simply, in your mind, you just get quiet for a few moments. You just become aware of whose voice it is. And then in your mind, you just say, thanks for the positive intent. That that doesn't work for me. That may have worked for you. It simply doesn't work for me. And so give it back to him. However that resonates with you. And years ago when I was diagnosed with bipolar and I was on medicines for years, same thing. I love my doctor to pieces, love her to pieces. And I'm like, hey Marty, I went off all my meds. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And she's like, Shirley, once you have it, you're always gonna have it. And I'm like, no, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It was the middle of summer, because the sun, it really heals us a lot, right? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Well, that winter hit, and I went back to, because I used to have to wear those visor lights and such because I had depression so bad, and then with the bipolar. And anyway, that winter hit, and I'm like, Marty, I need my meds. I need my meds. And anyway, so then I went to school for hypnosis, NLP, theta, all these other different modalities. And sure enough, within 3 months, I went back to Marty. I'm like, hey, I'm good. I don't need no blood work anymore. And that was another thing. I thought, why take a pill? Because I got to go in for blood work every 3 months to make sure it's not damaging my liver, right? So, it was kind of like, do I take this and ruin part of my body possibly? Or, do I just work through it and figure it out? So I worked through it and figured it out. So I've been medicine free since 99. The last time Marty says, you do realize once you have it, you always will have it. In my mind at that moment, because I love and respect her so much, in my mind at that moment, I just says, thank you for the positive intent. I love and I honor you and I respect your advice and your knowledge and your wisdom. That is not true for me. It might be true for so-and-so down the road. It may be true for whoever. It's simply not true for me. And I have not taken any medicine for bipolar or depression since then. So, and I just gave it back to him. Was that the reason that the emotion of depression or bipolar came up in the, originally? No. That's a different topic and a different day of discussion. All I'm saying is your mind is very powerful, and doctors, bless their heart, they're doing the best they can. That they're here to work with us and help us because they want us to feel happy too. I really truly believe it was my free spirit and the part of me that's kind of rebellious, the part of me that's like, you're not sticking me in that box. You're not. I've never been the same or felt. I've always felt different than other people. So, and now I embrace that because you know what? If I followed everybody else's lead, I would still be on like 5 or 6 pills a day. And I'm not. And it's like, I'm happy. Sure, there's days you wake up and you're like, I'm not really feeling this today. Or, you just keep going forward. If you don't feel like doing one thing, then you do something else. You just keep going forward. So with that being said, I hope you found this valuable. Share with other people that have depression or even bipolar. I'm going to do another one on bipolar as well, because there's different traits with each one. With bipolar, you've got that manic phase, and you have that low stage, and it is one extreme to the other. And depression is Yes, it can be detrimental. Yes, it can be, it can affect your life. Yeah, bipolar is kind of a whole different scenario, totally, just because of the highs and lows and the emotions and what's behind the highs and lows, which I found pretty interesting actually. But I'm glad I found it because now I know. And anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Hit the thumbs up. The more thumbs up, it lets me know that that you're finding value in this. And you know, I'd probably, I mean, I'm going to continue doing these whether you guys give me a thumbs up or not because it's my passion. I've worked damn hard in my life to get where I am now. And when I was younger, and diagnosed with some of these things, there was so many people that told me I was messed up. I was fucked up. And I could never tell anybody that I had bipolar or depression or seizures or and so I didn't. And um, you know, I am who I am, right? If I had a broken arm, wouldn't I say, "Oh, I mean that's really visible, right? You got a cast on. People could look at you and go, "Okay, she's broke her arm, whatever." Where with the depression and other things, people don't know. You can look at people and you have no clue. Why did Robin Williams pop into my head? You know, you'd think he would be full of life and laughter and he's here one minute, he's gone the next. And so nobody really knows what is going on within anybody. And to be honest with you, we all have our things we're working on. Everybody, every single person in this world. I don't care if they've spent a lifetime working on their emotions and themselves. They still have more to work on. Life's just one big school. And I kind of embrace that now because you know what? When you look back and you're like, oh my God, that was awesome. I feel good now. I feel good. I feel like dancing. I feel like going outside. I feel like having friends. It's worth it. It's so worth it, you guys. So, anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Namaste. Take care. See you soon. Bye.